Well, it's 4 o'clock, and I'll be punctual and call the Davenport Housing Commission meeting together for Monday, July 18th. First, we'll do roll call. Joyce? Gary?
Here.
Leslie?
Here.
And myself, Matt, is here, so we have a quorum. Guess the first thing we'll do is look at the minutes from our last meeting, which when I got the email from Bruce the other day, I said, it can't be a time already, but since the last meeting was later in the month, it really surprised me. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or corrections or additions? It's pretty short, so.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the June meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes from the June meeting.
Second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from our June 22nd meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those pass. So now we'll go on to the financial report. So Bruce, are these through, this is the entire month of June then, so the fiscal year's over?
Correct. This would be, make sure this is working. Yeah, this is working, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be for the month ended in June, which is also the end of our fiscal year. So when you look at the third page, I guess, if you will, of the financials, you can see both the public housing and the
Right.
HCV totals there for the year.
Okay, well, it looks like you made it.
Yeah, yeah, close on HCV. One random thing, not that any of you care as much about it too, but they do adjusting entries here after the end of the fiscal year, so there are some times when things do get trued up a little bit, but you know, this is obviously the as we roll picture, so it gives you a pretty good idea where we're at.
For the next fiscal year, are you pretty much, well, at least the programs that you're going to continue, are those going to be funded at the, I guess the only, well, you'll still be doing public housing for a little while.
Yeah, so good question. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've heard anything different from Congress as far as, you know, any changes to funding levels. Usually they're incremental with regard to our programs. But you're exactly right on the public housing side. In theory, and just for commissioners, for brainstorming purposes, that we're anticipating maybe about half of the year will be about what we end up still having public housing, and then November, December-ish is the target to convey the units, and then at that point we would remove that inventory from public housing. So we would cease to have public housing after that point. So that, I would guess, if you're looking at it, you know, I would guess it's probably going to be another half year or so of public housing that we'll be reporting on. And if you want, we can kind of do what we did with the Heritage, where we had some draws that dribble in afterwards and reimbursements that come in afterwards from HUD, because there's always a lag. But then at some point, for sure, by the end of this coming fiscal year, the year we're in right now, we'll probably just be reporting on the Section 8 or HCV. So that's probably, I guess I'm making that suggestion anyway, but Malia will probably be the one you're working with when we get to that point. So.
Let her jump right in. When you mentioned the heritage, Bruce, have people down there figured out that the city doesn't have anything to do with that anymore? I know for a while there, people were still coming to council meetings and complaining about things, but.
Yeah, that's still going on a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have.
And will.
It might.
Yeah. Old habits sometimes are hard to break, but yeah. It has probably lessened a little bit since the first month or two. So I think most have gotten that message. But, sometimes you don't have a need until you have a need. And if it's your first time calling it, we still get a few calls. But yeah, it's slowing up a little bit.
Well, possibly on something with that, if someone was having a problem, maybe the new owners or whatever, they weren't getting back to him as fast as what they would like, and that's why they would come back and help.
Okay. Well, does anybody have any other questions on the financial reports?
No.
Okay, would somebody like to move to accept?
I make a motion to accept the June financial reports.
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports for the month of June and the end of the fiscal year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, those pass. So I guess our next order of business is the occupancy report there.
And Chair Wissing, if it's helpful, I could just quick comment.
Sure.
I can't remember. I think last month actually we were down to the 5 as well on
Yeah,
the
looks like
occupancy.
the same 5.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, the table below the utilization report, however, we did, our net loss actually did happen, and we knew we were kind of headed that direction where it's just harder for some folks to find units. The only other thing, and I'm stepping outside a little bit into our public housing kind of update at the end, but sort of related to this, we have been mobilizing to get those vouchers out on the street. So we'll have a little bit of news that staff's gotten a number of those out, but I'm thinking those don't show up in the utilization report because they're actually tenant protection vouchers rather than housing choice vouchers technically. So you may not, so we'll verbally report on those, but I mean, when you see those numbers, we have been busy with some of those things. So, but anyway, that's my quick sidebar comment.
Remind me what the housing choice ones are. That's different than the regular Section 8.
No, so
Oh,
really Section 8 housing choice vouchers are one and the
Okay.
same. Housing choice is what technically they're called now, but so many of us know them as Section 8 that we just
Okay.
refer to them that way.
Try to keep up on the jargon.
Yeah, well, no, we all do it. We all still call it, a lot of our tenants and those applying, still call them Section 8 too. The tenant protection vouchers are the new one, which is the vouchers given for our tenants that are currently in public housing that are now transitioning off to voucher program.
Okay.
And HUD calls those tenant protection vouchers because they're funded differently at the HUD level than Section 8 vouchers. The mechanism is virtually the same, but it comes from, I guess, a different bucket. So they do call them tenant protection vouchers, TPVs. So just more alphabet soup for you.
Is it a higher or a lower level, or about the same?
I think it's virtually the same. It's just that those are sort of, I would call them periodic throughout the year for HUD. So if you're a HUD budget person, you can't, you know how many housing choice vouchers you have because of congressional formulas and authorization amounts. So it's a bit more, more follows that track, whereas tenant protection vouchers, like we did, we just applied at some point in the year and they review them and they might approve them at some point in the year. They don't neatly fall into a new fiscal year. So as a result, they might have budget authority given in April some year for X number of tenant protection vouchers, and then in May they might have less or more. And I mean, it's different every year, different every month for HUD. So I think HUD, for accounting purposes, likes to treat tenant protection vouchers separately from housing choice vouchers, even though once they're approved, it's just a housing choice voucher. It follows the same program protocols. So anyway, that's my little summary of, there's probably a few more differences, but they're virtually the same. So.
Gotcha. Okay, does anybody else have any questions there? If not, I'll ask someone to approve those.
Motion to approve the occupancy and utilization reports for June.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the occupancy report for June. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, those pass. Okay, consideration items. Is that something you had for us, or Bruce or Malia?
Certainly, I'll throw on her while and Malia can jump in too, and that she's actually been closer to it. The quick overview just was we've started now getting what we like to call getting the tenant protection vouchers out on the street, and of our 37 tenants, we've 30. Awesome.
So it's been a full-on effort from all of our housing coordinators. We set up a forum at the police department last week. We had some not show up, and so the follow-up was scheduling appointments with the clients to come meet one-on-one with a case manager. We started first with our larger 4 or 5 bedrooms, and then on Wednesday we're 1 or 2 bedrooms, and then scheduled out the rest of the week. So we have completed most of them, and now we're just following up with clients that are looking for housing. We've given them landlord resources, community resources for deposits. So we're really kind of working with them to assist, because we know with the housing market the way it is, it can be quite difficult, and a lot of our clients felt
Right.
their choice because of the differences in the voucher standards and the voucher are having to look out elsewhere for housing, and so we're really pushing, been communicating with the landlords as well to try to assist, especially with our larger families that are needing the 4 bedrooms. So that's what's transpired last week, and what you guys are today. But it's 32 vouchers, which is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said there were 32 out of 37?
So we've been following up frequently. I think the last couple of appointments were today, which would make it 32. But I'll have to double check with Kelly. I know he can go off on that, but I'll double check.
Was the, I don't know if you have an email list or something of the landlord community out there. Were they aware that there was going to be this sudden demand of people? Do you know?
I started, I know we've been talking, it's been in constant communication with landlords. We have 1 or 2 bedrooms available, we have 4 bedrooms available. And front desk takes calls from landlords that are wanting to participate in the program, and we were back and forth in regards to that. As far as the push for our public housing clients, I know that we're doing that now as we're getting these vouchers back out there on the street, and there'll be more of that. I know that I'll be working on a landlord newsletter. I've started it. about the differences in programs and opportunity to recruit more landlords for our programs, our housing programs in the community. So to answer your question specifically for public housing, there has been some prior to me coming in, but as I've been working with the housing coordinators, I know since about the different streets, they've been the key one calls for landlords. And I've been reaching out to landlords that I've worked with to see if they're ready for this.
Okay. I wanted to follow up with something you mentioned, Malia. You had been in contact with different social service agencies to help people with down payments and things. Are you do you know if they're doing a adequate job? I don't know what the resources are out there.
So I connected Kelly recently with SEEP, which is Supplemental Emergency Assistance Program.
That's up at Community Action, isn't it?
This one, they have a liaison there. So to
Oh.
become a liaison, it's ran through QCon, which is in Moline. It's Quad City Connections. And to become a liaison, you have to go through their training. They have a database where you can apply. You can receive up to $300 towards rental assistance or deposit assistance. And a household is eligible once every 5 years. So that is one resource we've been connecting them to. Also, the Salvation Army has a deposit assistance or rent can assist with utilities as well. So we're trying to get them connected with as many resources as possible. I know that SEEP is less restricted funding because it's private funds. So, it's a lot easier to access and the payment is made fairly quickly. But then again, if there are any other resources out there in the community, we're really trying to get them because this is although we've assisted our clients with a stipend, we realize, it can be frustrating considering the circumstances. So we were really trying to work with them to gather as many resources as we can in the community. And so, yeah, so the Partnering for the Landlord Forum is completely different. That's an event that's it's hosted by Family Resources, and they're inviting other agencies to participate. Heather connected me with that. And so we are waiting on the details, the specific details of what is going to be, what day it is, what time frame, before we push that information out to our landlords. From what I understand, it's going to be a FAQ, and these are the services that are offered in the community. And if you have any additional questions, here's the rep to connect you. Sometimes it's just easier for people to connect the name with the face, And so we think this would be a great opportunity for our landlords to participate and, again, to connect with other landlords in the community who may not be aware of the benefits of working with the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to bring up or add? If not, it looks like the 15th of August is the third Monday. Don't think it's a new city holiday or anything, is it? Not your birthday or anything, Bruce? Okay.
We could do that.
Okay.
How about why you get some ice cream?
Who was it that, or somebody on staff, they always liked place up there at 5 Points. Well, that's been a few years back, but anyway.
Oh,
Okay.
Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, I think so. No, not Baskin Robbins. What's that,
The donut place?
yes. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
That's that
I couldn't remember.
I don't frequent it too often, so that's why it didn't pop in my head.
Yeah.
So.
And I just want to say to the committee, I'm going
Oh,
to double check on those numbers. I want to be as accurate as possible.
Oh.
So I'll
Okay.
follow up with an email once I go back upstairs.
Oh, that's,
All right.
Thank you.
I apologize.
no, I just was
All
getting
good, all
some
good.
general information there, so. Okay, well, if nobody has any other questions or comments, I'll ask for a motion to dismiss us.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, everyone.